Open Heavens on the Go, Saturday, January 11th, 2025. Topic: You must avoid curses, Part 2. Memory verse, Numbers 23:8. How shall I curse whom God had not cursed? Or how shall I defy whom the Lord had not defied? Bible reading, Genesis 3:6-19. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree, of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. The Message. When you check through the scriptures and you see the impact of God's curse on any person or group of people, if you are wise, you will do everything possible to ensure that God doesn't get angry with you at all. The power of a blessing or a curse is dependent on the spiritual authority of the fellow who is placing the blessing or curse. Since God is higher than the highest, a curse from him is so potent that nothing can break the curse except God himself. Since there is no remedy to a curse from God, any wise fellow will avoid anything that will make God curse him or her. Since God placed a curse on the ground after the fall of Adam, Genesis 3:17, man has had to toil and sweat on it with limited returns. I pray that you will make it to the millennial reign of Christ, because by then we will be having robust harvest monthly and not the little yearly harvest we are having now. Revelation 22:2-3. If you read the story of Cain in Genesis 4:9-15, you will notice that the moment God cursed him, everyone he encountered wanted to harm him, even without provocation. When you read the scriptures and come across something that God forbids, or that will attract a curse from him, you should stay away from such a thing. For example, he said in Malachi 3:8-10 that those who don't pay their tithes are robbing God, and they will attract a curse on themselves. Even without the promise of overflowing blessings for paying your tithe, the curse alone should make you pay your tithes faithfully. Also, in Deuteronomy 28:15-20, God said that if the children of Israel did not hearken to his voice and obey his commandments, certain curses shall come upon them and overtake them. This is why you must ensure that you live a life that is in total obedience to God's commands, commandments, and principles. Lastly, when you meet a true Christian, a descendant of Abraham by faith, don't try to place a curse on such a fellow, because the result will be that you will attract God's curse on yourself. Genesis 12:3. Beloved, God's curses are very terrible and they are irreversible except if he has mercy on you. Do all you can to avoid God's curses. Key point: stay away from anything that can attract a curse from God. Bible reading in 1 year: Genesis 36-38. Hymn for today: Yield not to temptation. The Open Heavens is written by Pastor E.A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. God bless you.